Hello everyone, my name is Natalie. I'm a first year at the University of Arizona College of Veterinary Medicine. I am so excited because we are starting our second year in 2 weeks. I have my final in a week. We're in reproduction right now, our last class of first year. I can't believe it. And then we get like a week break, a small break, and we go straight into second year. And it's just crazy, guys, because I swear, like, this year at UACVM went by so fast. Like, a lot has happened, but I literally can't believe it. Like, our incoming first years are setting foot on our campus next week for their orientation. I remember my orientation like it was yesterday. I'm without words. Like, I can't believe it. Maybe it felt faster because we didn't have a summer break. If you didn't know, UACVM doesn't have summer breaks. We're a 3-year accelerated program. So maybe that had to do with it. We just went straight through. It was like, no time to think or take a break. But yeah, so I'm technically like an incoming second year. And I thought it would be the perfect time to share with you guys why I chose UACVM. I know that a lot of you that are applying to veterinary school or are going to veterinary school this fall, congratulations. I know a lot of you have millions of questions and a lot of you don't know how to choose which veterinary school to apply to or to go to. And I just wanted to share with you guys why I chose UACVM, what my experience has been, and also things that have surprised me about my first year and just about veterinary school in general. So I hope this helps, guys, and let's get into it. I got a Dutch Bros this morning. I've been trying different drinks because I can't stick to one. I don't know if that's like a me problem or if anyone else goes through this, but I can't find like the drink ever, whether it's Starbucks or Dutch Bros. I think I can't go more than a month without changing up my drink. I don't really commit to a drink. I get bored, and this is kind of like my drink of the month. It's a recipe that my roommate made. It's a sweet cream cold brew with raspberry and white chocolate inside of the soft top, and it's actually delicious. But yeah, I have such a hard time finding good coffee drinks. I'm a big coffee person, and I do have an espresso at home, but there's just something about like, I don't know, like I can't stick to one drink. I'm gonna get bored of this pretty soon. I'm gonna have a hair. I'm gonna get bored of it, but it's delicious right now. So let's enjoy while we can. If you guys have any good Dutch Bros recommendations, let me know. I like not very sweet coffees. I love cold brews. I'm okay with dairy. And yeah. So why did I choose UACVM? I think I just want to clarify that my situation when I was applying to veterinary school was very unique. I actually was admitted to UACVM my junior year of undergrad. So the way that happened was I went to University of Arizona for my undergrad, and I was in the honors college. And they came out with a program called the Early Assurance Program. And essentially, it was something you could apply to if you were pre-vet. The requirements were that you had a research project, and it was like basically doing the VEMCAS, but directly through my honors college at U of A. And I was accepted. I think they accepted about 5 students. I was one of 5. And it was an early admittance program, but I still finished my 4 years of undergraduate. I was just guaranteed a seat at UACVM. So that was amazing. I knew I wanted to apply to this program because I already had my eyes set on UACVM from the moment I heard they were going to build a vet school here. So for those of you that don't know, I was born and raised here in Tucson, which is where UACVM is located. It's located in Oro Valley, but that's just the outskirt of Tucson. It's north of Tucson, the city. And I was like, I would be pretty stupid not to apply to UACVM. And when that program came out, the early assurance program, I thought it was the perfect opportunity for me to apply directly to UACVM. And when I got accepted, I was so happy, and it just made life so much easier. And I know a lot of students don't have that, like they don't even have veterinary schools in their hometown, much less maybe an early assurance program like that in their undergraduate school. So I was very fortunate to have come across that. I finished my research project. I did an honors thesis. That was one of the requirements. And so I was accepted my junior year, and I had my senior year of just kind of relaxing. It was really nice. I was really lucky, guys. Like I didn't realize back then, but I was really, really lucky to have come across that and to be chosen. So if you are currently at the University of Arizona and are a pre-vet and you have questions about that honors early assurance program, reach out to me. I would love to help you guys out and give you more information on that. But I just wanted to clarify that with all of you. I didn't traditionally apply to veterinary school. Really, I just applied to one school, UACVM. I got in, and that's basically it. I really wasn't, I didn't have that debate like many others do of like what schools to apply to and what schools to go to, the ones that you've been accepted to. There were things that appealed to me about UACVM. I liked that they were a 3-year program instead of a 4-year program. I was a little fearful of not having summers, but now that I have completed my first year and I have gone through that summer semester, it is 100% worth it, in my opinion. Some may disagree, but for me, having that school throughout summer break makes it, you don't have to go through like forgetting what you learned over summer, and you don't have to go through the readjustment of getting back into the school groove. So those were big pluses for me. We just went right through the summer. It was hard, but for me, it's worth it to graduate a year earlier and save that tuition money. Another reason I thought that UACVM would be a good fit for me was because I heard they had the 3rd year being fully clinical rotations. So the first 2 years are didactic or classroom years, and our 3rd year we're gonna have our rotations, and every month we're rotating clinic to clinic. For the most part, you get to choose your clinics. And I thought that would be perfect for someone like me that really wants to get the most out of my clinical rotations. I want to be able to see different specialties. I want to go to GP, ER, specialty. I want to do an exotics rotation. And I feel like customizing that to what I want and being able to choose where I want to go month to month was perfect. So I really liked that, and as I'm getting closer to my 3rd year, I'm so excited to be able to experience that, and I'm already starting to plan where I want to go for each month, so I can't wait to start that. Another huge thing about UACVM that I quickly learned about when I applied was that they were what they call a reverse classroom. So I'd never tried that before, and I did think though that might be a good idea for me and the way that I learn. So essentially now after doing it for a year, you have your homework, but it's called pre-work. It's the material that you're going to learn before the session. So you learn it. It could be a bunch of lectures, PDF readings, slideshows. It could be in any format, but it's all in one like website that they gave us. And so you learn your pre-work for that session, and then you come into class and the professor reinforces what you learned with cases and a little assessment in the beginning of class. And I have thought that it has worked for me. I get to learn it on my own pace. Technically, I always do my work a week before. Some people do it a few days before or the night before, however you want to do it, but do it before the session, and then we come to class and reinforce it. And I think I've learned the best out of any studying technique I've ever done in my life, even in undergrad. The way that I've been studying, and I use like my whiteboard and flashcards to reinforce that studying it for my exams at the end of the semesters, it has been very effective. And I've really enjoyed it. So the idea of it appealed to me when I was going to go to UACVM, and now that I have done it in practice at the school, it's a good fit for me. And especially if you're thinking about doing more of if you're not a fan of lectures, then maybe it's a good fit for you as well. Now I wanted to touch on things that surprised me about my first year in veterinary school. And they might be U of A specific or just general veterinary school specific things. So one of them is that I'm really surprised that just how much I've grown to love my veterinary school program. I didn't fully understand it, like I said earlier, going into it, but now that I've been here for a year, it's just starting to make sense. And I grow to love it even more the longer I'm here. And we go through each systems course, and the things we learn in one course kind of come up again in later courses. And so we're gonna end our second year with doing like case management, just pure case management. And I think that is gonna really reinforce everything we've learned. And so that brings me to my second point. I'm surprised at how much we've learned in veterinary school. I thought it would be intimidating to get all of this information and maybe not take a full grasp of it, but being patient with yourself and trusting the process is going to make you realize that, wow, like I have learned so much and I am retaining this information, and no one expects you to learn everything all at once. It's the things that are the most repetitive that you retain a lot better. So if you see, if you keep learning about a certain disease, you're going to remember that one the most because maybe that's the one that you see the most at the clinic. So that is something that's really surprised me, how manageable the content has been. It is hard, but if you just give yourself some patience and show up and learn, it really comes together in the end. This one's UACVM specific, and it's not surprising to me because I'm from here, but it's something that maybe my classmates are surprised about, is the weather here in Oro Valley. It gets very hot, and since we do school through the summer, a lot of my classmates didn't expect to be in this triple degree weather. And we have our farm days, so we have a campus farm that we go and have class about every week, once a week, and it gets hot. And during the summer, we have the farm days an hour earlier, so we start at 7, and versus other times of the year where we go at 8. So we start earlier because it could get so hot. And I just thought that was something to put out there. If you're thinking about coming to Arizona for veterinary school, just be prepared for the very hot weather. And sometimes, honestly, there's nothing to do during the summer here, as bad as that sounds, because it's so hot. But I do think that the winters, like the fall, winter, and spring, makes it worth it. It is so beautiful here. It rarely gets cold, so if you're not a big fan of the cold, I think this is the place for you. Just keep safe during the summer and just be prepared that you're gonna have to suffer a little bit. Another UACVM specific thing that has surprised me is the way that the clinical year is built. I knew that we got to rotate through each clinic month to month. I didn't exactly know the specific details of it, and specifically how many rotations the school chooses for you. To put it in a way, we get 13 blocks, or months. So blocks, months, each block is 1 month, and each month you rotate to different clinics. 5 out of those blocks, because it used to be 4, but now it's 5 out of those blocks are basically they need to be done in Arizona. So almost half of your blocks need to be in Arizona. That's because one of them has to be a GP clinic in Arizona, a specialty clinic in Arizona, a necropsy rotation in Arizona at the UA Veterinary Diagnostic Lab, and then a large animal ambulatory rotation here. Last one is your shelter medicine rotation. That one has to be completed in Phoenix. Phoenix is about 2 hours outside of Tucson, and students are expected to provide their own housing for that one. They're expected to provide housing for all rotations, their own housing. UACVM is not involved with providing any housing or transportation stipends to any of their students. We're responsible for the full travel and housing during our 3rd year, and to still pay tuition on top of that. So we have 5 required rotations that have to be in Arizona. And for someone that is from out of state, just want you to be aware of that. A lot of my classmates kind of thought that they could be able to go back home and do their full 3rd year in their home state, and now it's some things have changed a little bit, so just be aware of that. 5 of your rotations, so 5 months, need to be completed in Arizona.
Yes.
The rest of the rotations you could basically complete wherever. They give you a list of clinics that you could choose from. You could also apply. If they're not on the list, you could apply to competitive rotations. You could also you have like one rotation, like one of your blocks could be one of your choice, like a clinic that maybe like isn't on the list or isn't considered a competitive. So you have options for the rest of your year. Just know that those 5 months have to be completed in Arizona. And then also your rotations could be in any order that you want. It is a lottery-based system, so you kind of get to say when you want things, and they try to work with you on that. But it's supposed to be a really good experience, a really fun learning experience. It's supposed to be as like customized to what you want to do in your career. So the point of it is to learn as much as you can as a veterinary student and get all of the experience you can, get all the surgeries that you can get your hands on, and make all the mistakes if before you graduate, essentially. So it's a really good opportunity, and even though, like, don't let the Arizona thing like stray you away from that. I think that you're still gonna get a really good experience out of it. Another surprising thing for me was kind of the way that you have to balance life in veterinary school can be challenging, but it's so doable at the same time. I think that veterinary school is a roller coaster in of itself. There's going to be times where you're so busy and you have like the weight of the world on your shoulders, and you have an exam this week. You have 2 exams this week, and you just feel like it's too hard. But once you like get over that hill, that part, you have like some really good moments where you have more time. You can go to the gym. You could travel. That's something that I've really prioritized. It's all about priorities, but I've prioritized like maybe taking walks. Like instead of doing my homework, I'm just gonna, you know what? Let me just take a walk first. Let me go on a little hike to clear my mind in the afternoons after class. And then when I get back, that's when I decide, okay, let's keep going with this homework. And I think that's so important, like setting your priorities straight. Look, school comes first, but I also need to do the things that I still love. And even though I can't do them every weekend, I should set aside like goals. Okay, how about the end of this month, let's take a little road trip. And that's something that I think that you learn the longer you're in veterinary school. You realize, okay, it can't just be all about school all the time. Sometimes I need to take a little break for myself. So UACVM actually implements like 2 personal days in your semester, and those personal days, like you could use them however you want, no questions asked. So you could basically like skip the entire day and you still get credit for that day depending on the instructor. Some instructors give you like 100% for the day, others give you like 50%, but there's always an opportunity to make up your work if it's an excused absence or a personal day. So I've been really surprised at like just how I've managed my life being in veterinary school, and I know that others can do it too. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, like I'm so good at time management. No, but if you can prioritize the things that you want to do and hang out with friends or going to a wedding in Hawaii, if that's something that you have had planned for months, and oh no, I have school on the day that the wedding is, like just go and do it. School's always going to be there for you. Work hard during the times that you are in school. Like work hard. Don't just skip class to skip class. Work hard throughout the semester, so that way those days that you need to take off for whatever reason, you have that leeway to just relax and have fun. No one is perfect, and your professors also know that you have a life. And I think that UACVM really prioritizes that with their students. Like, we know that you guys are humans first, like do what you need to do. And they really respect those personal days that I was talking about. So definitely a good work-life balance here at UACVM. Like just the cultures, they really prioritize that too. Okay, one last thing that has surprised me in veterinary school is all the ways that you could potentially make some money in veterinary school. I thought that there was no way I could work as a veterinary student, and if you feel the same way, or like you're worried about financing veterinary school, just know that it's okay to take loans out. I'm taking loans out. I'm going to be fully transparent. But if you want a way to help, like a little extra money without working, there's actually a lot of veterinary companies that hire student ambassadors in veterinary schools. So our school at least has a bunch of companies that hire us to be their ambassadors, and that's something that you kind of get starting like midway in your first year. There are some companies that started hiring student ambassadors like as first years, so they give you a stipend every semester, and each company, it varies. So I actually applied to one. I just got it like about a few months ago, and my job doesn't start until August, and they pay me like $1,000 per semester, and all you have to do essentially is plan events for them, create like that outreach to students and talk about their companies, For me, for example, I need to do one lunch and learn and one after school event for the company every semester. And that is very doable. We have lunch and learns at our school all the time. So look out for that once you're in veterinary school. If you want to make a little extra money, look into becoming an ambassador, applying to those veterinary companies. There's probably some companies and student ambassadors already at your veterinary school. So my biggest takeaway from my first year is to have patience for yourself. Everyone is going to be very different in terms of veterinary experience and academic knowledge when you first start out. For me, I actually came in with very little veterinary experience. I had about 500 hours in the veterinary clinic. And I am with classmates that have worked as veterinary technicians for years. So our class is very diverse, and you should never compare yourself. Have patience for yourself. You're all going to learn the same thing. Some may know more than others based on their experience, but you have to be patient with yourself and not compare yourself to others' experiences or knowledge. And skills too. So have patience for yourself, and it's gonna come together. You're going to realize how much you could learn within a month, within 6 months, within a year. I had no idea how to read blood work a year ago, and now it's like muscle memory. It feels so natural, and even the terminology, I was like, wow, like I could read all of this, like this whole chart, and know what everything means, and I didn't know how to do that a year ago. So you have to like accept those small wins. Seeing what you have achieved every single month is very rewarding, and it keeps you motivated. And I think that the biggest takeaway is just have patience for yourself and learn. Show up and learn. One of my biggest tips for you guys is to, if you can, go tour veterinary schools, talk to current students. With social media, it's so much easier now. Literally DMing veterinary student accounts and asking them, hey, like, give me your honest opinion. Like, what do you think about your school? Or what is your favorite thing about this school? What is your least favorite thing? It's so much easier now to ask questions. And so if you're in the process of deciding which school you want to go to, I recommend doing that and just not being afraid to ask questions. So that's why I chose UACVM. And the things that surprised me after my first year of veterinary school. And I want you guys to remember, if you're between veterinary schools, just know there's no perfect veterinary school. It's just the one that is the best fit for you. And you have to trust what you think is going to be the best for your learning experience. And these are some long 3 to 4 years. They're really long. So just take your time and decide, and really do your research on each school that you want to apply to. If you guys found this helpful, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And also let me know what you feel like watching next. Thank you guys for watching, and good luck to all the future vets out there. Bye.